What's going on, everybody? This is Jay with Going Gear, and today we're doing another flashlight unboxing and overview. This time we have the Weltool T2 Tac. This is a highly purpose-built tactical flashlight with self-defense in mind. The T2 Tac offers a lot of light in a fairly compact package. Without further ado, let's get it unboxed. After removing the exterior packaging, we're going to have our internal box here. And as per usual, we'll find our certificate of quality, as well as our usual Weltool instructions. Here you'll have a step-by-step guide on how to operate the Weltool T2 Tac, as well as all of your basic technical specs. We'll set that off to our side, and now we can check out our flashlight right here. That looks absolutely awesome. And of course we have an extra O-ring, which is really great to have in case you need to replace your O-ring on the flashlight, just to keep the internals all nice and dry. We'll set that off to the side, and we will also have here an included battery charger, which is super nice to have. This is going to take a USB-C, super useful. And they even include a nice USB-A to USB-C charger so that we can plug that up to our included battery charger. Really easy and really nice to have. I know most of us already have one of these, but still a nice to have for those that don't, or just to have an extra battery charger. Now, I promise this is the last time I'm going to say nice to have for the rest of the video. I feel like I've already used all of mine up for today. Now we can go ahead and put all of our goodies up and focus on the flashlight. Now here we have a hard anodized aluminum alloy body along with an aluminum alloy reflector and a coated tempered glass lens. You can see here we have a strike bezel as well. Really nice button on the back. And that has a decent amount of resistance, so that is probably not going to accidentally go off. I mean, that would be extremely unlikely. Now, I brought this up as well in the T1 ProTech video, but I just really appreciate all the knurling and just kind of grippiness that you get on this. Here's that lens reflector and strike bezel again. And before we get too far along, let's check out this battery. So we'll really quickly unscrew that. As per usual, we'll remove the battery protector that's in there, and let's check out this battery. Now, this is an 18650 3000 milliamp hour battery, and this one is 3.6 volts. This is, of course, a button top. Pop that guy back in and screw the cap back on. And we can check out the light real quick. I say this all the time, but you're not going to get the greatest view of it in here. We're definitely going to get a better idea of what it looks like outside. But especially, with us darkening it in here, you can see the background is not going to be quite as warm, so you can get a better idea of this light. Now, this is between 6500 Kelvin and 6800 Kelvin, so it's going to be a fairly white light. As you just saw, 4 half clicks and then 1 full click is going to bring us to our low mode. So that is a hidden low mode. When we turn the light off and then back on, it's going to default right back to the high mode, as you can see here. Now let's talk technical stats really quickly. Now you can see here that instead of using the 18650 battery, you can also use 2 CR123A batteries, but we're going to focus on the 18650 stats, so feel free to pause here if you want to read those. Now in our high mode, we're looking at a light output of 1900 lumens, a beam intensity of 46,500 candela, a beam distance of 471 yards, and a max runtime of 1 hour and 21 minutes. In the low mode, we're looking at a light output of 53 lumens, a beam intensity of 1200 candela, a beam distance of 75 yards, and a max runtime of 22 hours and 30 minutes. Now, as we've talked about before, being that this is considered a tactical flashlight, it does default to the highest mode, which is typically what that means. This one also has a strike bezel, and I'm sure you can guess what that could be used for. Additionally, the knurling that you get around the tail cap as well as around the barrel is going to make this really secure both in a forward or reverse grip, also very comfortable to hold. Now, as this light offers a lot of power in a relatively small package, you actually have these holes near the head of the flashlight that are designed to help keep it cool. You can actually see right through those, which is kind of neat. See that right there? You can see the desk through it. Pretty cool. And of course, that milling is going to be really comfortable to hold in more of a forward pinch grip. Really quickly, let's go over the physical dimensions before we take this guy outside and check out the beam. Now, this light is going to have an overall length of 135 millimeters or about 5.3 inches, a body diameter of 24 millimeters or just under 1 inch, and a head diameter of 26.5 millimeters or just over 1 inch. Now, why don't we go ahead and take this light outside and see how the beam looks. Just like before, when we first turn our light on, we're going to see our high mode here. So super, super bright, and you can see that beam because of the really high candela. Now let's go to the low mode. So after turning it off, we're going to do 4 half clicks and then hold on the 5th click, and bam, there we are. That's the low mode. Turning the light off and back on is going to default us right back to the high mode. Now here we are in a more open space so that you can get a better idea of how far this light really reaches. You can see there's quite a bit of reach on this beam as we're showing off some treetops here. And this light is of course extremely bright. Now zooming out, we can get a better idea of the overall spill coming off of this beam. It presents really evenly. It's a nice circle with, again, that tight beam in the middle with a defined hotspot. Between you and me, when I was showing you this light on the desk, I actually kept my eyes closed because it is way too bright inside on the high mode. If someone were to sneak up on you on a trail like this one, they would not be happy to get blinded by this light. And let's check out the low mode again. You can see that that low mode is much softer. We're getting a decent reach, but this is much more manageable inside. We're not really lighting up the treetops from here or anything like that. We can still see the road decently well, and you're seeing all the spill coming off of that beam pretty nicely. I'm not always the biggest fan of cool white lights, but I'm actually really impressed by the color recognition on this one. All the colors look really clear through this beam. And back to high. Hope you guys enjoyed that. That was super fun to go get those beam shots. Now, before we wrap things up, let's go just a little bit deeper on the term tactical flashlight. So what does that actually mean? Well, in its simplest form, that means that it defaults to the highest mode when you turn it on. That's usually when you see TAC, especially with Weltool or tactical on most flashlights, it's going to default to that highest mode. That doesn't inherently mean that it's designed for self-defense, although it often does. In this case, you're getting a strike bezel with a larger design in a package that is clearly more self-defense oriented. And the reason tactical flashlights are defaulting to the highest mode is because if you needed to scare somebody off or blind them with the light, you want it to default to that highest mode. You don't want to have to click through different modes. That's also why low modes on tactical flashlights, specifically on Weltools, are often hidden under multiple actions. The reason for that is that you don't want to accidentally put the light in low mode. You want it to be very intentional. That's why in this case, it takes 4 half clicks and then 1 full click, which is actually very similar to the UI on this T1 Pro Tac, also from Weltool. You can see that it's in many ways a smaller version of the T2 Tac. Obviously, this one's missing the strike bezel. Now, this is my personal Weltool T1 Pro Tac. And again, it does have the designation of TAC in the title, meaning that it defaults to the highest mode. Now, do I use this with the intention of self-defense? No, I don't. For me, this is an EDC light that just defaults to the highest mode, unlike this guy that actually has a strike bezel. All that to say that when I hear about a tactical flashlight or a flashlight with TAC in the name, my first assumption is, okay, this defaults to the highest mode, not necessarily that it's a self-defense light. Though the T2 Tac is clearly designed with that in mind. If you like this flashlight, you can also get it in the OD green color, which I think looks really, really awesome. Everything is the exact same, just with an OD green anodization. You have the same strike bezel, knurling, button, all the same stuff, just in green. And of course, you can grab both of these colorways over at goinggear.com. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video on the Weltool T2 Tac. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe, and it's not a bad idea to hit that bell icon just to get notified when we drop another video. You can grab your very own Weltool T2 Tac at goinggear.com using the link in the description below. We also have a wide array of other flashlights, knives, batteries, and other EDC gear. As per usual, we provided some additional beam shots here at the end of the video so you can get a better idea of what this flashlight looks like at night. I'm Jay with Going Gear, and we'll catch you on the next one.